February brings new Pokemon, raids, and events to Pokemon Go. And in this video, I will be going through everything February has to offer, and I'll be going through some tips including which Pokemon are most worth your raid passes and max particles. Starting with the events for the month, first up we have the end of the Lunar New Year event, which will be running up until the 2nd of February at 8 PM. This event features free Pokecoins and an increased chance for lucky trades and lucky Pokemon. We then have the small yet strong event running from the 5th of February up until the 8th, and this will feature the release of Shiny Nimble into the game. You will also get 2 times catch XP during this event, increased chance to encounter double S and double XL Pokemon in the wild, and different coloured Flabébé will be appearing in the wild depending on your location. We then have February Community Day on the 9th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time, and this will feature both Shelmet and Carablast and a whole range of bonuses. The beloved Buddies event will run from the 11th to the 15th. There'll be a raid day on the 15th between 2 PM and 5 PM. Next, we have the Scattered to the Winds event running from the 18th until the 20th. Following this, we have the Road to Unova Tour event running from the 24th of February up until the 1st of March. And this event does offer quite a lot. You'll get half hatch distance, there will be an increased remote raid limit, you'll get Unova Tour themed research and special background for 5-star raid caught Pokemon. The new Tour Pass and Tour Pass Deluxe will also become available at the start of this event. And this is a Battle Pass-like feature where you can unlock rewards by collecting points to progress through the pass. The regular Tour Pass is free and you can upgrade it to the Tour Pass Deluxe for $15, and it will get you an encounter with Victini, event themed encounters, an avatar item, a lucky trinket, and more. The $5 Masterwork research will also become available at the start of this event, and it will get you an encounter with Shiny Meloetta. There will also be a couple of $5 tickets for the Road to Unova event, one that'll get you bonuses for raiding and one that'll get you bonuses for hatching. There will also be a whole host of Unova legendary and mythical Pokemon available in 5-star raids for the event, and there will actually be a way of getting some of these for free. So there will be a timed research, and completing tasks will get you an encounter with Terrakion, Cobalion, Virizion, Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus all in their Therian forms, and Genesect in each of its forms. However, if it is like last year, it will require you to do raids to get these, but with the 2 free raid passes for each day during this season, it will be a bit easier for free-to-play players to do. And I will be going through how good each of these raid bosses are later on in the video to help you target which ones to go after. And lastly, although not quite in February, the Pokemon Go Unova Tour Global will be taking place on March 1st and 2nd. And this is a big event featuring a lot of different things that I will be covering in a different video. So keep an eye out on the channel for that video. And as well as new events, there will also be new Spotlight hours running from 6 PM to 7 PM every Tuesday in February. First up for the month will be Carvanha on the 4th with 2 times Evolution XP. Then it will be Love Disc on the 11th with 2 times Catch Stardust. Inkay will be on the 18th with 2 times Catch XP, and this one in particular will be pretty worthwhile because Malamar is ranked 24 in the Great League with 0 15-9 IVs, and it's ranked 24 in the Ultra League with 3 15-15 IVs. So definitely not a bad Pokemon to pick up, especially as Inkay will have no IV floor because it will be getting caught from the wild, so it will be easier for you to get the PvP IV spread that it wants. On the 25th will be Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott with 2 times Catch Candy. And out of these, Snivy will be a good encounter because Serperior is ranked 53 in the Great League with 0 10-15 IVs. It does want Legacy move Frenzy Plant to be at its best, but if the Unova Tour is anything like previous tours, you will be able to evolve Snivy up to Serperior to pick up this Legacy move during Unova Tour, so it might be worth holding on to some of your Snivy just in case this happens. And Oshawott will be worth going after for similar reasons because Samurott is ranked 71 in the Great League with 0 14-14 IVs, and again it will want Legacy move Hydro Cannon that you might be able to get during Unova Tour. And we do also have different raids and max battles going on during February. So in 5-star raids we have Dialga up until the 6th of February, and it will have a raid hour on the 5th of February. Enamorous Incarnate will then make its debut in 5-star raids from the 6th until the 17th, and it will have a raid hour on the 12th. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like its shiny will be available this time around, but at least it's not an elite raids this time. Next we have the Veltal and Xerneas from the 17th up until the 24th with a joint raid hour on the 19th. From the 24th, there will be a range of different Unova legendary and mythical Pokemon due to the Road to Unova Tour event, and each day the featured Pokemon will have a raid hour at 6 PM. So on the 24th will be Genesect in all of its different forms, and it will have Legacy move Technoblast of the type that goes with the type of drive it has. On the 25th will be Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion, and they will have their Legacy move Charge Attack Sacred Sword. On the 26th will be Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus in their Therian forms, and they will have their Legacy moves as well. And lastly, on the 27th will be Reshiram with Fusion Flare and Zekrom with Fusion Bolt. In Mega Raids will be Mega Medicham up until the 6th of February, then Mega Tyranitar will be taking over until the 17th, and lastly for the month will be Mega Garchomp from the 17th up until the 4th of March. And in 5-star Shadow Raids on Saturdays and Sundays in February will be Shadow Regirock. Moving on to the max battles from the 3rd of February up until the 10th, we will have Max Squirtle, Machop, Krabby, Sobble and Moltres. Following this from the 10th until the 17th will be Max Machop, Cryogonal, Scorbunny, Squovet and Phalanx. Next from the 17th until the 24th will be Max Machop, Pidove, Grookey and Phalanx. From the 24th until the 3rd of March will be Max Pidove, Darumaka and Sobble. And from the 3rd of March until the 4th of March will be Max Ghastly, Beldum, Pidove, Darumaka and Sobble. And it is worth noting that in 6-star max battles on the 1st of February between 2 PM and 5 PM will be Gigantamax Kingler for a max battle day. And I do have a video up on the channel if you want to know more about this. And as well as max battles, Max Mondays will be returning in February. These are essentially raid hours but for max battles, and they take place each Monday from 6 PM to 7 PM. On the 3rd will be Max Moltres, on the 10th will be Max Squovet, on the 17th will be Max Pidove, Max Darumaka will be on the 24th, and Max Beldum will be featured on the 3rd of March. But how good are these raid and max battle Pokemon, and which are most worth using your raid passes and max particles on? Firstly, Dialga will be available for the first part of the month, and it is worth raiding for a few reasons, including acquiring Galarian Birds. It is the 4th best steel type attacker in the game, and it is ranked 42 in the Master League. Not only that though, but its candy will be useful for powering Origin Dialga's Roar of Time Adventure effect, which allows you to pause the timer of Lucky Eggs, Star Pieces and Incense. And regarding Galarian Birds, pausing the daily incense timer is really helpful because you can only use the daily incense for 15 minutes per day, so extending it will help you get more encounters and more chances at Galarian Birds. Next up we have Enamorus in its incarnate form, and this Pokemon has only been available once for 1 day last year, and it was in Elite Raids, so not many people actually got it. And as well as picking it up for the decks, it does actually have some meta relevance. In terms of raid attacking, it is the 12th best flying type attacker with Fairy Wind and Fly, and it's the 4th best fairy type attacker with Fairy Wind and Dazzling Gleam. It's also pretty decent in the Master League as well, where it is ranked 41. We also have Yveltal returning this month, and this Pokemon also has meta relevance, and in particular in Go Battle League. As a raid attacker, it is the 5th best flying type attacker with Gust and Oblivion Wing, and it is the 10th best dark type attacker with Snarl and Dark Pulse. In the Master League, it is one of the highest ranked at rank 3, so well worth raiding this if you played Master League. It's worth noting though that it does want legacy move Oblivion Wing to be at its best, which will require an elite charge TM to get. Xerneas is also returning, and again it does have quite a bit of relevance. It's the 5th best fairy type attacker with Geomancy and Moonblast, and it's ranked 22 in the Master League. And whilst this is good, again it does want legacy move Geomancy to be at its best, which will require an elite fast TM to get. Moving on to the Mega Raids, Mega Medicham doesn't really have much meta relevance, however the 2 Megas that follow it do. Mega Tyranitar is a great Pokemon to raid because it is the best dark type attacker in the game with Bite and Brutal Swing, and it is the 2nd best rock type attacker with Smackdown and Stone Edge. This is a particularly useful Pokemon in terms of value because how good it is in both of its type roles. Similarly, Mega Garchomp is the 2nd best dragon type attacker with Dragon Tail and Outrage, and it's the 2nd best ground type attacker with Mudshot and Earth Power. Garchomp is also ranked 49 in the Master League, so a good option there as well. It's generally an all-round good Pokemon to raid. And for the 5-star Shadow Raids, Shadow Regirock will have the most relevance in Ultra League, where it is ranked 31, but it is generally going to be better in Go Battle League in its non-Shadow form, so it could be worth purifying it for that. And regarding max battles, are any of them worth doing? So I would recommend Max Squirtle if you don't have access to G-Max Blastoise, because Max Blastoise is a good tank with a 0.5 animation move Water Gun and its high defense. And if you do have G-Max Blastoise, it probably is worth catching anyway to get some extra candy. And outside of max battles, Mega Blastoise is the 4th best water type attacker, and it's ranked 55 in the Ultra League with 0, 12, 15 IVs. Max Machop is a decent one to get as well, because it is the best fighting type max Pokemon we currently have. However, do note that it does have a G-Max form coming in the future, so you might not want to invest too much into the Dynamax form because you want to spend that candy on the G-Max form when that comes out. However, if you think it is unlikely that you will be able to do the G-Max Machamp raids, then the max version will be worth investing in for you. Machamp is also a decent budget fighting type attacker outside of max battles, and it's ranked 48 in the Great League with 0, 14, 11 IVs, and it's ranked 76 in the Ultra League with 0, 15, 14 IVs. G's. And if you can't get G-Max Kingler, Max Krabby is worth picking up because Max Kingler is one of the best water type max Pokemon we've got at the moment. Kingler is also the 19th best water type attacker outside of max battles, so not a bad budget option. Sobble is a good one to go for candy for when G-Max Inteleon comes to the game because it will be the best water type attacker for max battles when it arrives. And even though Max Kingler does do more damage than Max Inteleon, it doesn't have access to Water Gun like Max Inteleon does. And Water Gun is a faster move, so it will help fill up the max meter faster than Bubble will. So it's possible Max Inteleon will be picked over Max Kingler for this reason. For Max Scorbunny, it is a similar story to that of Sobble, where it is worth getting the candy for the G-Max Cinderace when it comes to the game. Max Grookey is the same, but Max Rillaboom actually has some relevance itself. Other than G-Max Venusaur, Max Rillaboom is the best grass type attacker for max battles, so a decent one to get, and it is a lot more budget friendly than G-Max Venusaur is. Rillaboom is also the 13th best grass type attacker outside of max battles, and it will be even better when it gets access to Frenzy Plant. Max Darumaka will be worth getting because it will be the second best fire type attacker for max battles, second only to G-Max Charizard, which is unobtainable for a lot of players, and it is very comparable to Max Moltres, which is a lot harder to get and to power up. Darmanitan also doesn't have a G-Max form, so it is a fairly safe investment for now until a better fire type max Pokemon comes available, or if G-Max Charizard ever becomes more accessible. Outside of max battles, Darmanitan is an okay budget fire type raid attacker if you don't have anything better or if you're a newer player, but the candy itself will be more useful. This is because the Galarian form of Darmanitan, which you can use the same candy on, is the 10th best ice type attacker. Max Ghastly is definitely worth going after if you don't have G-Max Gengar, because it is the only ghost type currently available for max battles. And outside of max battles, Mega Gengar is the second best ghost type attacker and the best poison type attacker, if you are counting poison types without a poison fast attack. So really, Ghastly in any form is generally a good Pokemon to pick up because G-Max Gengar is the highest damaging G-Max Pokemon currently in the game, and Max Gengar is super strong as well. Max Beldum is another good one to go for because Max Metagross is a really good tank and it is the best steel type attacker for max battles. It also doesn't have a G-Max form, so it's a pretty safe investment. Outside of max battles, Metagross is the third best steel type attacker and a decent budget psychic type attacker as well. It's also ranked 62 in the Master League and it does have a mega form coming in the future. So generally, Metagross is an all-around very useful Pokemon. And lastly, for Max Moltres, it will be comparable to Max Darmanitan, but more difficult to power up because legendary candy is more difficult to get. And being a tier 5 max battle, it will be a lot more difficult to get than a tier 1 Max Darumaka will be. And outside of max battles, Moltres is the 24th best fire type attacker, and the candy will be useful for powering up a shadow version, which is the 9th best fire type attacker overall. Generally, max and G-Max versions of Pokemon are really useful because you can leave them at power spots to gain candy passively. And with that said, if you do want to know more about which are the best Pokemon to power up in Pokemon Go for 2025, then I recommend checking out this video on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next one.